Welcome to Basketball U. If you're new to Basketball U, make sure you slam dunk that subscribe button. And just to make sure you don't miss a thing, make sure you tap that notification bell right after you hit that subscribe button. Basketball U, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We hope your daily training workouts have been going well. In our previous videos, we talked about what it takes to become a successful coach. Then we brought you the coaching styles. But in this video, we are going to teach you to coach the person, not the player. Now, building trust between a coach and a player is vital for success at all levels. However, if your goal as a coach is to aid development of youth players or to win a championship, it is impossible without the relationship between an athlete and a coach. The intangible bond between athlete and coach is very noticeable at training sessions, conversations, and at games, and at the same time difficult to quantify. It is neither achieved through a course nor is it limited to coaches who have played the game. As seen through many coaches' journey, most may believe it is these interpersonal soft skills that separate the good from the great. Of course, there's always tactical innovators, new systems, and roles, but they are considered very redundant if the player doesn't buy into the methods or truly believe the words and promises of the coach. These things like personality, charisma, or chemistry, they are important and can be improved. But in reality, the coach must buy into the players and understand them. Let the players speak. This is a major starting point for how can you begin to understand your players if the communication is a one-way relationship. This process can be done in one-on-one meetings with older players. Younger players are more distributed in a get-to-know-you type of factor, only resulting in the player's freedom to discuss many things aside of basketball, like travel, past performances, and everything in between. A shared vision. To ensure that these individual learning plans are agreed between the player and the coach is the key here. If the players are driven by the coach, they will not take ownership when it really matters. But if the plans are set by the player, yet not agreed by the coach, they can be generic, but difficult to measure later on. Be honest. Throughout the journey of player development, the coach must remain honest. The players are told too often what they want to hear rather than what can help them reach the next level. The coaches must be considerate towards younger players and their parents, but honesty is vital to this process. But if you aim to be nice, you will seem to be untrustworthy later on when the targets are not met. A few players that some coaches have worked with have always appreciated honesty, some more than others, but it also has become the bottom line of success. False promises or unwarranted praise cannot be built through true relationships. Unconditional support. For most coaches, this is the challenging part. This is where most coaches struggle. That's because once you set these expectations or targets, you have to stick to them. Everyone is different. There's no such thing as a linear path from novice to expert. Sure, it seems easy to be supportive and encouraging when the player is confident when it comes to scoring goals and demanding the ball. But what is their body language and communication like when that player has given 5 misplaced passes in a row? As soon as you cut all ties and claim that this player is not at the level or needs to be released, how can that player trust you in the long run? Throughout the journey, failure is harsh necessity. Obviously, at times, the coaches too often blame the players. He can't move, or he's not reacting fast enough to grab the rebounds. Well, as a coach, that's your job, to improve these players. You'd be out of the job if every single player in your position played like Steph Curry at the age of 7. As an example, we're not saying that Steph Curry is a bad player. We're basically saying every player on the team can shoot. There's more to the game. like footwork, dribbling, offense, defense, the basic fundamentals of basketball. If a player shows failure, coaches will ask themselves, is there anything more I could have done to help them in that situation? Mostly the answer is yes. From a video breakdown to a one-on-one conversation, or with a straightforward keep going. Coaches live for that motivation, especially when that player becomes aware and self-reflective. For example, the player makes a mistake and tells you what they should have did. Most times they even give a look, that type of look where it's like, I could do way better than that. Let me try that again. That is considered great coaching. Because when that player starts to self-correct, all you have to do is nod or give them a thumbs up. This process of success as a coach can take weeks, months, maybe a frequent amount of sessions, games, and even conversations, especially one-on-one discussions. Stay on the same page. The unconditional support still has a framework. You can't just have someone's back without a roadmap of where we are, where do we want to go, and how will we get there. Coaches aim to be honest and objective. Know your player. Knowing your player is the key art of coaching. Knowing how and when to communicate and how it varies from individuals. Preferably without the player, speak with their parents. Ask the parents some questions such as, what motivates them? What makes them frustrated? Why do they play basketball? What are they like at school? What are they like socially? Do they have any siblings? With these questions, it will open a whole new level of understanding, as well as a more in-depth look to the person behind the basketball. This way they can open up to a brand new look at the game through praise, encouragement, and even criticism, as well as giving them a high five or the sounds of silence. The results are fantastic. It's not all about basketball. Some players may have a different energy on the court and off the court. Some coaches may find it easy for them to connect with, as they are into feedback, or it could be the clown of the group, making jokes here and there to motivate the team. Most young players are quite difficult to get to know properly, because their personality might be different at school or at home, outside of the personality you see on the court. Some players can bring that high energy on the court, but stay low profile and quiet as a mouse off the court. Some players may be flashy and classy outside the court, but could be mean and game time ready inside the court. A great way to understand these younger players is by making that first connection to know them, and if necessary, talk about something other than basketball. Just some easy questions to follow. How was school today? Do you speak any other languages? What is your favorite thing to do in your spare time? Do you play any other sports? What is your favorite food? What is your favorite movie? What is your things of interest, hobbies, music to listen to? The same type of music that gets you hyped up during the pregame, right before the game. These questions are obvious and has almost instant results. That way, as a coach, it shows that the players feel like you care about them and not just how they play the game of basketball. These small conversations open lots of doors. This builds up to even more weekly conversations. And even these key conversations can grant these players new nicknames for themselves. It's not about just being the coach in that court. It's also about coaching the players outside the court, understanding each player's mental and physical conflicts. Some players may need to sit out for a couple of games, probably due to fatigue, and many other situations. And that's why here on Basketball U, not only you have to coach the person on the court, but you have to coach the person off the court, just so you can understand the person, not the player. That way, the player can make their decisions when it's up to them to make that decision. And with that right decision, Not only it could bring out the best in a coach, but it can also bring out the best in a player and as a person. This is Basketball U. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, follow all of our social medias right there in the description to keep yourself up to date, as this channel will have a lot of basketball, a lot of players, and a lot of training and more information on how to play the game of basketball. Remember, someone's always working. Are you?